Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith E. Phillips and this is the final video of 2022. We're going to be looking back over the year, revisiting the goals I set for myself at the beginning of the year, and seeing what I accomplished, what I utterly failed at, and just looking back over it all. So I'm going to do exactly what I did last year. I'm going to pull up my 2022 goals video that I posted at the very beginning of the year. We're going to watch it together and we're just going to see, what I was able to get done. We'll see. So let's go. All right, I'm all set up over here. I've got the video pulled up. We're gonna go ahead and watch this. I haven't watched it obviously since I posted it last year. Of course, I do know some of what's gonna be in here because I've been working on some of the goals at least. So let's see what crazy goals I set for myself at the beginning of the year. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith E. Phillips and today we're going to talk about 2022 goals. I hope you're excited about a new year, a new chance to achieve new things. So let's not... I'm so peppy. I'm so peppy. My hair looks good though in this video. I don't know if it looks that good anymore. Okay, don't waste any time. Let's go ahead and dive into what I hope to accomplish in 2022. Since this is obviously a writing channel, I'll go ahead and start with my writing goals. If you watched my video reviewing my 2021 goals and how I did in accomplishing or not accomplishing them, you know that especially for my writing goals, I way overshot what I would be able to get done within a 12-month span of time. Indeed, so this year I tried to set my expectations for myself a little lower. I tried to be realistic with what I thought I would be able to accomplish. Listen, I know some of what I'm about to say. Let's just keep going. The problem right now I'm finding, especially with writing goals, is that I'm in uncharted territory at this point. I'm into re-outlining and rewriting and revising and working on second drafts, and I'm finding, or I found last year, that I really have no concept of how much time all of this is going to take me, because that is still a problem. That is still a problem. It's just not something I feel like you can really go into and say, this is going to take me this amount of time. Like, I know that for sure. At least at the stage I'm at. Maybe if you've written like 10 books and you know that your revision process tends to take you 3 months or something, I don't know. But like at the stage I'm at, I still don't really know. Like thinking ahead to next year when I plan to go in and start revising this Regency romance into a second draft, like I don't know how much time to give myself. We have learned nothing. We have learned nothing about our writing process when it comes to the revision stage of things. So when I'm looking forward to the next year, I really don't know what's completely realistic to expect of myself. So I don't really have a super solid goal that I'd like to accomplish by the end of 2022. I do have things I would like to accomplish, and I basically have like a list of like, first I will do this, then I will do this, then I will do this. But I really have no sort of time limit. I'm gonna take the amount of time that it takes. That's a good strategy, honestly, and I think that's probably what I'm gonna go with in the new year. I'm going to have probably the same kind of list that I'm about to go over and not really have a set time because again, like I really don't know what's realistic for me and what's not. My big goal that I am hopefully confident that I'll be able to finish within the first quarter is the rewrite of my project model rom-com. Project model rom-com. That seems like so long ago. But this is one goal I did hit. I wanted to finish that rewrite I did. I rewrote the entire thing from scratch and I wanted to finish it by the end of March and I did. And the only reason I was able to do that was because I didn't do any videos in March. I solely focused on the writing project. And that was good. Like I love doing the videos, but they do take time, potential time away from writing activities. So I did accomplish this. Very good. Once I finish that second draft or the rewrite or whatever we want to call it, I'm going to look up I'm gonna look at the calendar and see what month it is and kind of set a new goal from there. Obviously, after I'm finished with this rewrite, I'm gonna wanna go back again because there's already things where I'm like, oh, I need to mention this earlier, or I need to do this sooner, or whatever. So I wanna go through and do sort of a third draft and overall revision of whatever I end up with after this rewrite. Yep, that's exactly what I did. I finished at the end of March with the rewrite, and then what did I do? I did start working on draft 3. I stopped working on draft 3 sometime in like mid-June, and that's when I took that enormous hiatus that I just sort of like took off and didn't tell anyone about. But yeah, I did work on a draft 3 for several months before quitting. Again, I have no clue how long that kind of a third draft is going to take me, so I have no sort of time limit for myself on that. I would love to have that finished by the end of the year, but we're not pushing for anything in particular. That's good, because we definitely did not finish it by the end of the year. I set aside pretty much all writing projects over the summer. I honestly, thinking back over it, I don't even remember where exactly I was in a third draft revision. I really have no clue because I haven't looked at that story in 6 months now. But I did work on it in April and May. April and May were difficult months though. The whole like earlier part of the year was not an easy, it was not easy months for me. There was a lot going on. April is when Nibs died, and that was really sad. Those last couple weeks of his life were just, it was a lot of work taking care of him. And so I was still doing writing stuff, but I think honestly that the first like 4 or 5 months of the year really just burned me out. Not necessarily because I was trying to do too much writing stuff, but just like the writing and the videos and life stuff, it just was a lot. So anyway, if by some miracle I managed to finish a third draft, the next step would be to get critique partner feedback and maybe beta reader feedback, not at the same time. When I would want to do one and then the other, but that would be the next step. I don't know if I'm going to get to it this year. It's just the next step in the process. Yeah, we definitely didn't even come close to that, which, you know, is fine. I put aside that project thinking I would come back to it, and then realizing later I really didn't want to go back to it. So it is what it is. Really, at the end of the day, in order to accomplish any of these writing goals, I need time and I need accountability. Last year I had tried to set different writing routines for myself. If you go back to that 2021 goals video, I outlined a very specific writing routine at the beginning of the year. About halfway through the year, I realized it was just not working the way I thought it would. I tried something new. That one worked a little better, but it was kind of hit or miss. And I realized, you know, you don't have to have a writing routine that you start in January and you carry through the entire year. True! It's hard to stick to something super specific just because life, you know, like different things happen on different days. Your energy level is different on different days. And so it's hard to, for me at least, it's hard to stick to a really, really specific kind of writing routine. So instead of trying to set up a time or a schedule at the very beginning of the year and then stick to it every single week, what I'm planning to do is at the beginning of every week, I'm going to look ahead at the week I have to come. I'm going to consider how I'm feeling. If I'm absolutely exhausted for some reason, I'm not going to push myself to do a bunch of writing work, but I'm going to look ahead 1 week at a time, and I'm going to ask myself, okay, where do you have space within this coming week to do writing work? That's actually a good strategy, and I did do that toward the beginning of the year. Haven't done it recently. It's a good way to sort of structure your time, right? There's some weeks where you're just done. You're just exhausted and you don't want to do anything, and that's fine. Take a break. Yeah, that might be something I try this year, just to try to continue that, because I kind of just sort of fell off the bandwagon with trying to do that week by week. I do think that's a good idea. Good job, past me. So the timing taken care of. The next thing is accountability. How am I going to hold myself to this routine from week to week? I did really enjoy doing the monthly wrap-up videos at the beginning of the next month, so I do plan to continue those. Yeah, I do. I did really like doing those. I think that's something I'll try to continue into the new year. I haven't done one in a while because, you know, the summer happened. And then for NaNoWriMo, like, I did like the recap video, I guess, but I didn't do like a recap at the end of Preptober or anything. I did like doing those, and I think that's something I'll try to continue next year. I also plan to share the same sort of goal updates over on Instagram. Haha, Instagram. Remember that? Remember when I used to post on Instagram? Me neither. It's been like a year. The live streams. The live streams were very helpful for me. It made me sit down and it made me get work done, sometimes on weeks where I really didn't want to necessarily. So I do plan to continue doing the live streams, maybe twice a month. That's what I was doing last year. That kind of schedule seemed pretty okay for me. It didn't seem overwhelming at any point. Live streams. I did, I think, 2 live streams. And they were both part of that DIY writing retreat writing conference thing I did for myself. That was back in May. Yeah, I totally did not do live streams this year, and I don't really miss them. They were fun, and like I said here, you know, I did get work done, of course, and sometimes they were helpful in like, okay, you know, sit down and get work done. You're doing a live stream for that purpose. But they're just kind of stressful for me because it's real time and you're being watched in real time by other people. I don't know. It's not like a video where I can just cut out something stupid I say. Like, it's live, so there's no cutting. And yeah, I don't think that's something I'm going to continue on any kind of regular basis. I might do live streams for like something special, but I don't really have plans to go back to like a regular live stream schedule. 2 a month is what I'm going to aim for. Failure! And for that's really all I have planned. I want to focus on the one project. I want to make as much progress in it as I can in my wildest dreams. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, yeah, we definitely didn't just focus on one project. We sort of gave up on that project and started a brand new one. But, you know, I've talked about this in previous videos. Like, I'm really excited about this new project. I think it is the project that I'm meant to write. So I'm not sad at all that I put aside Project Model Rom-Com. This is the absolute most I could ever hope for in this year. It probably won't happen, but it would be amazing if I did. But in the absolute most productive thing that I can imagine for this year, I would love to have this story in shape enough that it is ready to be queried. I know I can hear my future self laughing at me now. It's fine. I said, ha, yes, here she is laughing at you. Laughing at you. I knew that, you know, like I said in the video, like I knew that that was a stretch goal. But wow, was it really a stretch goal? Clearly, we did not get anything into query ready shape. My goodness. Like absolute best case scenario, okay? I don't know if that's realistic at all. I knew. That's what I would love to have happen though. So let's move on. I do have a small reading goal. Last year I read about 40 books, which was the least amount of books I have read in a year in years. That's not very many books for me. I would love to hit 50 books this year. That's less than 1 a week. But again, I'm not going to rapidly pursue this. I'm gonna try to read a little bit more this year though. Unless I have some huge spurt where I'm reading like a book a day in the last week of this year. I think currently I'm sitting at like 37, 38 books. And I've got like 2 weeks left in the year as of filming this video. So we're gonna be lucky to hit 40. Frankly, I don't think I'm hitting 50. In terms of social media and what to expect on this channel for 2022, I kind of just want to maintain what I've got going on. Last year I had big goals to hit 1,000 subscribers and other things like that, and I feel like I kind of hit some of those big milestones, and there isn't really I mean, you could have subscriber goals, but again, like, you know, it's not really up to me whether you click the subscribe button. You kind of just got to do it yourself. So it's not really something that I can achieve on my own. It doesn't really matter to me how many subscribers I have at the end of the year, as long as it's more than what I started with. Goal achieved. Goal achieved. I think I ended the year around 1,100 subscribers. Something like that. Maybe a little more, 1,200, 1,300. I don't remember. And we're at like 1,900 now. So great. I gained subscribers over the course of the last year, which I'm happy about. Honestly, what matters more to me is the view counts rather than the subscriber count. You could have 1 million subscribers, but if you're getting 100 views on your video, that's kind of crappy, you know? I'd rather have, you know, 1,000 subscribers and get 1,000 views on every video. That would be better. So the subscriber number really isn't as important or as meaningful to me as the view counts, frankly. Because the views mean people are watching my content and hopefully enjoying it and wanting to engage with it. So that's really more what I look at. Same thing over on Instagram. Listen to me. I gave up on Instagram at the end of January. My initial idea was, okay, I'm not gonna post 3 times a week anymore. I'm just going to post when I feel like it. And it turns out posting when I feel like it is never. So, sorry. I do plan to continue my same Tuesday, Friday upload schedule here on YouTube and my Monday, Tuesday, Friday schedule over on Instagram. Yeah, no, we didn't do that. For YouTube, I was pretty consistent, except for that 4 months where I didn't do anything. But, you know, if you take that out, I've been doing Tuesday, Friday videos pretty much all year. I have taken a few days off and, you know, that kind of thing, which is fine. But I was pretty consistent over here in terms of, you know, when I was actually posting. And then Instagram, like I said, I just sort of put that on a back burner because I really wasn't getting anything out of it. And I didn't feel like what I was posting was all that great. I would like to work on varying my content, especially over on Instagram. It looks a little samey right now. I really want to consider the question, what value am I providing to the people who see this stuff? That's a question, that's a great question to ask yourself if you're a content creator, because if you're not providing anything, any value for the viewers of the content, then who's gonna care about watching it? Yeah, that's a question I'm definitely thinking about through, you know, into the new year. I'd love to do collabs here on AuthorTube with some other AuthorTubers. That would be a lot of fun. Did not do that. I didn't reach out to anyone. There's been a couple people who have reached out to me to do collabs, but it was either at a time where I was like not making videos or I just didn't want to add something else to my plate. And so I haven't done anything in that regard this year, which is a little sad because I do like collabing with other people, but this was just not the year for it. I'd really love to use my platform to shout out other channels, other smaller channels that I enjoy. I do love doing that. I did that a little bit through NaNoWriMo. There were some great channels I found, you know, who were posting vlogs and that kind of stuff. So that's something I really enjoyed doing, and I do plan to continue that into the new year. Also, kind of same as last year, I'd like to improve my filming and editing skills. I do have some specific things in mind for that, and we'll see where it goes. Again, I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. It's just gonna be what it is, but that is something I'd like to improve. Yeah, I don't feel like my videos, like even just watching this video, like this is my exact same setup that I still use, and there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but I haven't really felt like I've had the time and the energy and willpower to devote to making different kinds of videos, different higher quality videos. That is something I've been thinking about again for the new year. I have some ideas, some things I'd like to try. I know the kind of video that I would love to create. Whether I have time to do that is a different question. If I can do something different that makes the videos more engaging and more fun to watch, I'd love to do it, but I need to figure out when I'm gonna have time to do it all. So we'll see how that all pans out. I do have several personal goals I'd like to share with you too. I have these broken down into like a health and fitness section, a mental health section, and a home projects section. For my physical health, I have two sort of major goals. The first one is to continue taking walks pretty much every day unless it's raining. We do have the dogs now, so they definitely encourage me to go outside and make sure that they are exercised and not crazy from not being exercised.
Yes, so we've done a good job keeping up with that. We go pretty much every evening, again, unless weather is disgusting outside. But yeah, we go on little walks with the dogs.
The other thing that is pretty much the same as last year is I want to try to eat some sort of balanced or healthy lunch. And I think the big problem I was running into last year is I just didn't know what to eat. Nothing looked good. And so what I want to do, hopefully early on this year, is make a list of lunch options and actually schedule out some lunches for myself through the weeks. I think that'll help me stay on track with that.
Okay, so I definitely did not do any kind of list, and I have not been scheduling lunches, but I have been eating, usually, some sort of real lunch. And if you're new here, I got into a really bad habit of just eating like snacks all day, like granola bars and an apple and chips and just like random stuff. I wasn't like making a lunch that would sustain me until dinner time, you know what I mean? And so that's where this whole goal is coming from. And I've done a good job this year because I've figured out what it is. One of the problems is like nothing looked good. I didn't want to eat any of the things we had. I'm super picky, I'm sorry, but there it is. And I found out that what I really want is something hot, like a cooked thing, which is so high maintenance, but... And so what I've been doing is I've been finding lunches that I can put in the oven and cook in the oven and then eat for lunch. So I've been doing a pretty good job. Like I generally am not just snacking for lunch or throughout the afternoon anymore. I'm usually eating some kind of actual meal type food. So I think that's goal accomplished.
For mental health, this is a big one. I need to take more time off work.
Oh.
I need to take more time off work. I work for a very small business and I get very few paid days off during the year. We get 6 government holidays off, like Christmas and New Year's and like Memorial Day, like those ones. And then on top of that, I get 10 additional days. Sick days, personal days, whatever I want to use them for, but I only have 10, which is not very much.
Worked here for 9 years. Only get 10 days. It's fine.
In the past, I had sort of hoarded my days. I didn't want to use them all up early in the year because then what if something came up later in the year and I had to take off time, you know, like I was all like, oh no, I'm not worried about it this year. My boss is pretty flexible, which is nice. If we want to take more than 10 days off, he doesn't care. He's not going to pay us for any more.
Oh no.
But we can usually, unless there's some sort of scheduling conflict, usually he does not care if we take off extra days beyond that 10. So I'm like, you know what? Let's take off some extra days.
And we did. Congratulations to me. I did do this. I took off a lot of days this year. I took off whole weeks at a time. I took off 3-day weekends. Like, I did a good job at taking off time from work.
My goal for 2022 is to make sure I have at least one 3-day weekend every month. I don't feel like that's too much to ask.
I did it.
I don't feel like that's out of line. And I feel like that will really help me to not feel stressed and overworked. The other thing I want to make sure I'm saying here is that those 3-day weekends, I want them to be for rest and work. We're looking for a balance here. I don't want to use them as like, oh good, I have an extra day to catch up on work stuff. No, I want to rest on that extra day off.
Yeah, and I did that. I think I did do a good balance of, yes, I did do some writing and video stuff during those 3-day weekends or longer, and I also took time to just chill out and rest.
Finally, for home projects, if you're interested, we do have a big landscaping project we're going to try to get done in this first quarter, which I'm really excited about. Our backyard, I've showed this a couple times, but anytime it rains, our backyard becomes a pond. And it takes it the better part of a week to actually like evaporate and not be a pond anymore. And it didn't used to be like a huge issue, but now that we have the dogs, they will run straight into the giant mud puddles and then they're a mess. So we're like, we got to take care of this because otherwise like then they can't really go outside for like a week, which is terrible. So we're trying to get all that straightened up in the first quarter.
Yes, so we did have this completed in April, so technically not Q1, but it's fine. We had some drainage stuff put in, and there's no more puddles now, which is great. So the dogs can run out there pretty much as soon as it's done raining, and we're good to go. So I'm very happy we had that done.
After that, one of the goals I had from last year that we didn't get to was replacing that attic stair unit. It needs to be replaced. It's very old. That shouldn't be like a huge deal. I'd like to get that completed by the midway point in the year.
Oh, we didn't. We did not. We did not. I did measure to see the size, and I did go on like Home Depot and Lowe's to see if they had units I could purchase and get an install set up for. As is typical in this freaking old house, the size of the current pull down stairs unit that we have is not the standard size. It is an inch smaller. So that means I can't just easily go online and like schedule this. I need to like call somebody because they're gonna have to cut out like an inch of the ceiling in order to fit a new unit in there. And I just never got back into doing it. So that was a bumped goal from the year previous, and we're gonna bump it again. Maybe we'll do it this year. Jeez. After that, the other big project is to have our floors redone. I don't know if we will have the funds or the bandwidth to do that. We did
I really want to get that done because it's all carpeted in our house, and especially now with the dogs, like they get it, you know, they're tracking in stuff and it's hard to clean, and this carpet is just old and grody. So
it is old and grody.
So those are my 2022 goals.
All right, so we did accomplish some things. We did get partway into accomplishing other things. There were a lot of things left undone, completely undone. But, you know, it was a hard year, especially the first, like I said, the first 3 quarters of the year were not great. And it did end on a high note. I do feel like it ended on a high note, but it was a rough year in a lot of ways. And I did work hard, just didn't get to a lot of stuff. How did you do on your 2022 goals? Do you feel like you really accomplished a lot, or do you feel like you got way behind? What happened in 2022 for you? I will be back at the beginning of January, the first Tuesday in January. I will be posting my 2023 goals video. I hope you're excited for that. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, you can click the subscribe button. I post videos usually on Tuesdays and Fridays. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye.